Hello, and welcome to another one of my unpopular opinions where I talk about issues that I am passionate about. I may talk about politics or general social issues that I feel affect our Gambian society or African society. I may talk about things that make you a little bit uncomfortable, but will perhaps give you a little push to dig deeper, ask questions, and start to critically think about our issues in the Gambia and make informed and reasoned judgment about how these issues affect us as Gambians. Now, I assure you that my intention will not be or will never be to offend or disrespect anyone, but to help change minds and perspectives for a better Gambia. I will keep it simple and I will focus only on the issues. Again, like I said, it will never be personal. Now, one thing I want to say is that I am not an expert in good governance, but I am in my learning process to be a better citizen so that I can better influence change. However, right now, these are just my non-expert, unpopular opinions. I am Fatou Dibba, and I thank you for watching today. So in my opinion, I feel like Gambians are ready to build a culture of public integrity. I feel like the citizens are ready to demand that government set up a system where Gambians can start practicing the positive norms and values that are needed to help move the Gambia to the next level. But this can only happen if government understands the importance of doing this. And if they make it a priority and add this culture, the culture of integrity to their current development plan. But honestly, people, what we need is an exemplary leader to set the tone. Now, Gambia is bigger than President Adama Barrow, but he is president right now. So we address him directly. But this applies to any other future leader that we have, any other future president. Excuse me. Adama is not our only problem when it comes to the lack of growth and development or system change in the Gambia. Nor is he our biggest problem. We, the citizens of the Gambia, are you and I. See, I can dwell on President Barrow, and the fact that, he's not who we needed to get us through this critical period of time where we needed to establish a system totally different from what we had in the past. I can dwell on that, but that has been said already, But I ask you, if you could go back to the day that President Adama Barrow was chosen to lead the coalition, would you choose differently if you had a choice? If you could, Adama Barrow is probably part of God's plan for Gambia. People say things like, "Ya la moko fatek," huh? Or let me quote the famous words of the Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Toure, who said something along the lines of, going against President Barrow is going against Allah. I get annoyed when people say things like that, but they may be right. I mean, not the going up, not the part where she said going against President Barrow is going against, God, because people must have free will to choose whomever they want to choose and support, or support whomever they want to support, even if God put them there, But sometimes God puts difficult and challenging people in our lives to make us strong and prepare us for a more purposeful and successful life. I personally believe this. So maybe that's why President Barrow is in our lives. That's why he is the president of the Gambia. That's why he is our leader, to teach us to be strong and to take control as citizens. To encourage us to fight for what our country needs. We should start examining ourselves as a people and make an adjustment in how we do things. See, now we are seeing ourselves as Gambians through Adama Barrow and other members of cabinet. I mean, we're seeing ourselves, and we don't like what we see. But we are Adama Barrow. We are a reflection of our leadership. If they are inspiring, the people become inspired, right? Uninspired, right? They're not inspired. But, I think that sometimes we're very unfair in the way we criticize Adama Barrow, when we criticize his leadership. We must also realize that Adama is one of us. And for him to change for the better, we as a Gambian people, we as a Gambian society, those of us that say we don't do politics or discuss what the government, the Gambia government does. Man bokuma chi politikile, bokuma. Huh? And also those of us that criticize government. We should all individually adjust ourselves and adjust the way we think and change our mindset. If you really look at it, we have the president that we deserve for the people that we are now as Gambians. When we really decide to change individually and focus on the issues, focus on the things that affect us, instead of, what our political party colors are or who our favorite leader is, political leader is. That's when we will change the type of leaders we pick. I'm not saying don't be passionate about your political affiliations, your political parties, your political leaders. Just don't make them your first love. Your first love should be the Gambia and the interests of its people, as a whole. Because Gambia will never grow if just a few people benefit from the sitting government each time. There were people that benefited from Jame. They were all over the place. Jame. And now there are people that are Barrow beneficiaries, We need everyone to benefit. Let's talk about choosing leaders that will set good examples and behave appropriately. Leaders that will inspire us in a good way. Have you noticed how Gambians have become extremely divided under the leadership of Adama Barrow? Even more so than under the leadership of Yaya Jammeh, and I cringe when I say this, seriously. I wish I didn't even have to say that. But under Barrow, we have become angry. The hatred is tearing us apart. We are all out to get each other. We want revenge. We retaliate and embarrass each other publicly if we don't agree with what somebody's saying, or especially us women, you cuss us out and talk about our womanhood. Now think about how Adama started out with his unpresidential attacks directed towards his critics and the diaspora Gambians. And then he fell out with Usainu Dabo and the UDP, and he went into a full-blown battle with them too. He let his emotions and his fear of losing power get to him. And so his speeches were combative and not unifying at all. A leader does not fight back against the little or with the little people. He remains focused. President Barrow was not focused back then. Gambians were mostly united before and during the impasse, but after the dust settled and President Barrow got comfortable, He divided the people. He became unappreciative of the Gambian people, always saying things like, I did this, I beat Jammeh, I, me, my, I, me, mine. A good leader does not use those words, I, me, mine, or I, me, my. When it comes to nation, he does not use those words. It's us, we, ours. He made defeating Jammeh all about him. He missed an opportunity to bring any significant development to the Gambia, at least yet. And I say yet, because he has wasted our time, but it's not too late, so he can change. So will he take the last minute opportunity that he has, the last year that he has, to change his legacy? We'll see. But what have we achieved as a nation besides freedom from Jammeh, which President Barrow did not actually give us? The people decided that they had had enough, and they were inspired to vote Jammeh out with the encouragement of the then strugglers against Jammeh, But what has this new government done for you? Can you list 5 things that Adama Barrow has done for you that has improved your quality of life today? Can you list 5 things that he has done to inspire you? I know this government has been saying they need more time. I know Barrow is saying that he needs more time, and that's why Barrow, that's why he wants to run again. But he's been there 4 years. 4 years is a lot of time to waste. When we could have done a little bit more during that period of time. I'm not saying we could have achieved a lot, but a little bit more. Now, how do I know that he is not going to waste our time again if I vote for Adama Barrow in the upcoming or in the next elections? Ask yourselves that. And then ask President Barrow that question. President Adama Barrow, why should I vote for you in 2021? Now, we need to understand that we are a reflection of our leadership. If they are uninspiring, the people become uninspired, right? However, as Gambians, we need to check ourselves as citizens, just regular private citizens. We are very unfair in the way that we criticize Adama Barrow sometimes. We put it all on him. Whenever we criticize his leadership. We must realize that Adama Barrow is one of us. He behaves like a Gambian. He has a Gambian mindset. For him to change for the better, we, the Gambian people, should individually adjust ourselves and change. If you really look at it, we have the president that we deserve right now. When we really want change, then the way we pick our leaders will change. We're just not ready yet as Gambians. The current leader of the Gambia, President Adama Barrow, does not have the mindset or the self-transcendence of a great leader, a visionary. And that is very dangerous for Gambia because it's holding us back. See, my campaign is not to bring Adama Barrow down, but to encourage Gambians to choose leaders that can lift Gambia up, that can boost Gambia up, that can get Gambia, lift Gambia up from the bottom in the future. Oh, and by the way, I have not given up on Adama Barrow. I think that he can make his last year in office count. Even if he believes that Gambians will vote for him again in 2021, it's not guaranteed, and all he has is now, this moment. This is the only time he has to prove for sure that he can be a good leader and can get those future votes he wants. President Adama Barrow has not inspired enough Gambians yet. He has not inspired enough Gambians to guarantee him a win in the next elections. I know he doesn't see this right now because, again, no one is telling him the truth except his critics, and he thinks of us as enemies of the state for speaking up for the Gambia. But he hasn't inspired enough people yet. But he's not self-aware, so it is what it is. What President Adama Barrow needs to understand is that the first step we needed to take to help Gambia recover from the effects of dictatorship and forge ahead was to strategize and establish systems and laws aimed at safeguarding the integrity of our public institutions, aimed at promoting honesty and transparency. We needed rules and regulations and restrictions to ensure that the country's resources and time are used efficiently. This is elementary, not complicated at all. What I just said does not make me smart and intelligent. It's just common sense. One of the first things that Adama Barrow should have done when he took over the country was to come up with a transformative plan to build a strong culture of integrity, starting with himself, and then the civil servants, and then all the way to the public sector, but starting with himself. I feel like he really missed the opportunity to transform the minds of Gambians, especially our young Gambian minds, in 2017 when he took over. At that point, he was a hero. He was a hero to Gambians. Just the fact that Jammeh was gone and he was there, right? This is when he should have infiltrated, and I don't know if I should use that word infiltrated, but he should have infiltrated the minds of the people. This is when you inspire the youth by doing great things, coming up with great ideas. But it's not too late. Adama needs to focus on setting an example and putting in place a culture geared towards integrity, a culture of professional performance standards, a culture of transparency and accountability and honesty. And we will follow his footsteps. He must discourage unlawful and corrupt behavior. And he must play by the same rules and avoid taking advantage of his position to cut corners or get richer on the butut of the Gambian people. If Adama Barrow had, done this, these past 3 years, right now, most of our citizens would be focused on coming up with ideas to uplift our country, to boost our economy. They'll be enthusiastic about this, rather than, everyone being so angry at each other, boom, boom, HOB, and putting most of our energy in raising public awareness about corruption and the corruption that goes on in our country and the corruption that's going on within the government and those that hold public positions, the speculations, the suspicion, the lack of transparency. So, people are confused. We don't know what's going on. And yes, speaking up against corruption is part of nation building. So we won't stop speaking up against, it. However, we could have focused on, other things, but as private citizens, we're gonna keep asking questions, and that's what everyone needs to do, and we hope that everyone will ask questions and will put attention to on these this corruption, but it's up to the government to put in measures to fight corruption. And if they don't do this, then the country will not move forward. Such a waste of time. No country can grow if corruption is not addressed. So, I think that, President Adam Barrow and his government should consider, really addressing this. This will be one thing that could change his legacy. If he can't focus on anything else, so do give us any development, at least that system change, put in system change. That could be your legacy, major system change, Having said all that, I appreciate people like Manjang and Dr. Samate. They're not without fault, they're not perfect. For example, Manjang could have done a better job in engaging his staff, his discontent staff, But we all have our shortcomings. What matters is that the majority of the things that we do with honesty, integrity, and good judgment. And I think Manjang did that based on listening to him. And, this is just my opinion, but I think he did that, Now, when it comes to Dr. Samata, whatever his motivation was to come out and publicly speak about his frustrations with the corruption surrounding the COVID-19 efforts, I think we need more people like Dr. Samata who are not afraid to bring to attention what we have all known, but could not get anyone within government to admit or confirm. We have a major corruption problem in the Gambia. But Gambia, if we choose the right people to run our country and our institutions, you will find that there are many Manjang type and Samata type Gambians out there waiting for their potential to be harnessed. They are honest, they have integrity, they have the qualifications, and they love the Gambia. I said that in my other video, right? Now, I will leave you with this quote, the famous words written by Dr. Martin Luther King. In a real sense, all life is interrelated. All men are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. This is the interrelated structure of reality. These are the words written by Dr. Martin Luther King. I love that quote. I do. Well, that is it for me today. Remember, you don't have to like or agree with everything I said today. These are just my opinions. But if you agree with just one thing I said, that is a start. For those of us that are critical of this government, whatever your methods are to effect change, and for those of us that say that we have no interest in national issues or politics or what government in politics, and we just want to focus on our personal lives, remember, you still have to vote. Even if you don't care about politics, you actually do, because you have to vote, unless you're not going to vote. And that will be very unpatriotic. We must attempt to change who we are individually, our mindset. Only then will we change our leaders and will we change our country. I am Fatou Diba. Follow me on YouTube, JongamaFatou, Unpopular Opinions, and on my Facebook page under the same name, JongamaFatou, Unpopular Opinion. Stay healthy, and thank you for watching. Have a nice day, everybody.